Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bargain Bin, a show all about speedrunning games all under $20. My name is Midnight Vesper, and I'm going to be your host for this show. If you're new here, this is how this is going to work. For more current/digital games, we're going to be using stores like Steam, GOG, itch.io, Ubisoft Store, Epic, etc. to look at the list/MSRP price for retro game or for those said games. For retro games, we're going to be using a website known as pricecharting.com and looking at the loose price of those games. We do not count any sales or discounts as they vary from time of purchase. Couple announcements real fast. Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 online is complete, and the total so far is 2.87 million for now. As a reminder, all of GDQ's portion of gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel for the entire month of January will be donated to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So there's still a chance we can hit that 3 million total. Also, the GDQ Hotfix is a series of shows that happens every week here at Games Done Quick. Information on all of our Hotfix shows is available at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. And if you're watching this on YouTube and would like to support our live content, please consider checking out our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. Please consider using your Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. On today's show, we present games that are all on Steam. The first being Lucah, Born of a Dream, a Souls-based game with a price of $14.99. After that, we visit the 16-bit game CrossCode. Released 2015 on the PC, this Super Nintendo-inspired RPG is going to be on Steam with a price of $19.99. Finally, we journey to the land of the dead with Grim Fandango Remastered. Created by Tim Schafer and Lucasfilm, the remastered edition was released by Double Fine Studios with a price of $14.99. And don't forget that the Bargain Bin isn't the only show happening tonight. Right after our show is Speedruns from the Crypt, bringing back all that late night stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. RC Helicopter, how are you today?
Doing pretty alright. It's quite late for me. It's 1 a.m. because I'm from the Netherlands, but a bit nervous, but I'm feeling sharp and ready, so...
Awesome. I can't wait to see this run.
Yeah, quite excited. So I'll just go, I guess. First, one thing to mention, you might see already, the game speed is set to turbo, and that means that it's 1.3 times the default speed of the game, so as you can imagine, a lot of this game will just fly by very quickly, so I'm also not much of a streamer, so I'll try my best to commentate, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, just gotta fill in a good name real quick. Alright, so I guess I can go now, right? So 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, this is Lucah. It's a game where you fight stuff. Two main types of attack here: light attack, here heavy attack. Heavy attack being a bit slower but stronger, but for most of the game, just using the light attack is good enough. So I'll very rarely be seeing the heavy attack. Important part for the speedrun is that enemies will break whenever you deal enough damage, so they explode like that. And an enemy that is broken will be stunned for a little bit, so they can attack me, and they'll also take a lot of extra damage. So for basically the entire run, the main strategy will be get in a quick break and then quickly finish the enemy off. And that way, really the main philosophy behind most of the routing is the best defense is a good offense, because if you just break your enemies before they can attack, you will never get it yourself. So we also have this familiar floating around me that can attack enemies, and familiars use charge, which is the purple bar. My own attacks use stamina, which is the light blue bar, and I regain charge by hitting enemies with my regular attacks. So throughout this run, it's, especially in the early game, it's quite important to have good management of charge, and then stamina will become more important a bit later on. So I can just take a death on this boss. The outcomes are exactly the same if you win or lose, so just quicker to lose. So we run this game on easy difficulty, and that is because, well, of course, easier difficulty means that enemies are weaker, which is obviously faster, but it also means that the overall strategy of breaking enemies and just playing very aggressive is much more viable on easy than on any other difficulty, so it's more fun as well. So just like in Dark Souls, you can level up at these campsites. What attributes you can choose to level up are random. So I'll mostly be looking for attack, but oftentimes I can do that, and then I get to just balance out my stamina and charge. Also, I picked up a new familiar called Impulse, which is this, which does this little shotgun blast, I guess you can call it. The only downside to this familiar is that the spread of the shotgun blast is completely random, so sometimes the familiar will just miss point blank, which is something that I just have to deal with, I guess. It's very strong, otherwise we'll be keeping it for basically the entire run. So as you might expect, you can also parry enemies in this game by just dodging into them right before they hit you. And an enemy that's parried is kind of the same as when they're broken, except they take even more damage. But usually I can just kill enemies before they can even get an attack off, so we don't often wait out parries. Only against the bigger enemies we use that strat. Also there's hold actions, which has this little explosion like effect. These hold actions are quite powerful, but obviously I have to do an attack first, and also they take quite a bit of stamina and charge, so I really just reserve hold actions for like bosses and some of the bigger enemies. First boss, let's see if I can get lucky here. Looks very good. I want them to be sufficiently there to be a sufficient time between when they attack so that I can replenish my stamina, so got quite lucky, but that's good. Bit of menuing here. For menuing, I have to use the the joystick to move the menu around, so it can be quite finicky. But anyway, there are different weapons in this game, of course. They're called mantras, and they're represented by these different colors. And aside from just having completely different hitboxes and frame data and whatnot, they also have a small passive bonus, and you can equip both a different light and a heavy mantra. So even though I won't really be using a heavy attack here, I have equipped Anima, which gives me a small passive attack speed boost on the heavy attack. So for this boss, a bit of a volume warning. For whatever reason, a couple of sound effects in this game won't get turned down if you turn the volume down in game, and this boss is one of them. I have to die here again. So you have two different use items in this game that replenish when you go to a campsite. One of them is just a nice heal like that. Very straightforward, but there's also the rewind button, which allows me to basically start a fight over at the beginning of the most recent wave, which I'll try to use for a couple of glitches, but aside from that, except for a few bosses, I won't really be using it. Oops. Oh, okay, good. So there's also more customization in this game in the form of what is called virtues. And what virtues do there have very different varying effects, but the one that I just picked up at the campsite is called adaptive. And what adaptive does is, if at the end of an attack I switch weapons, or paradigms as it's called in this game, I'll regain a lot of stamina that I used. So whenever you see this green glow around me, you'll know that I've timed it correctly and I've gotten back a lot of stamina. And adaptive is very important for the run because the attacks that we use are generally, we want them to be very powerful because we want to immediately get a break. But powerful attacks usually means costly in terms of stamina, so being able to replenish it, especially for the longer fight arenas, is very useful. Yeah, as you can see, I can normally maybe do 2 of those in a row, but now I can basically keep going for as long as I want. Oops. Messed up a little bit there, so I have to back this up a bit. There we go. Like I said, charge management is very important in this game, so if you make a bit of a mistake, you have to do a backup strat. Thankfully, for a lot of fights in this game, the backup strat is always it always looks very fast, and it kind of is, I guess. Like, you'll lose time, but it's very rarely catastrophic. At least for the earlier parts of the run, towards the end, when the enemies get scary, I'll be at risk of dying, so don't want that, but for now, mistakes are fine. So let's see what my levels get me. I want to be 8 power. It's the dark blue one. There we go. So damage in this game, it's partly random. Like, quite a bit actually is. Kind of see it as a damage range or whatever. And for this boss in particular, if I don't get it quickly enough, it might get a second attack off, which can cost a lot of time. So I will try to do my best to do the optimal strat to put out as much damage as possible, but sometimes I just get unlucky and the boss lives and I lose time. That I still have to do the actual strat correctly, so might just go wrong on my end, but if not, I'll just blame the game, it's fine. Oops, oh. Right, so time for the backup, I guess. Missing the parry, oh no. Come back here. See, this is why I want this boss to go well, because it'll just cause a whole bunch of trouble. Oh well.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm late, but this is Durant. I am one of the 100% runners for Lucah and the current world record holder, and I'm here to join RC, whose voice I've never actually heard. Hello, RC.
Yeah. Hi, Durant. I've heard your voice like one sentence, but Anyway, you're just in time for the strangest boss in the game.
Yeah, show them Fast Christian. And he did it perfectly. Look at that.
There we go.
So you go ahead.
Yeah, so I said earlier that basically everyone takes more damage when they're parried, but for whatever reason, Christian 1 is the only exception that I know of. So
really?
we tried to go for a funky break strat.
So that's why you go for the dodge instead of the parry. I thought it was just because Anima hold action came out faster.
No, not quite. I found it once because I missed the parry and got a perfect dodge instead, and still killed the boss faster. So it took a while to find out why. But
so this is going to be one of the few optional things that RC actually does in the run. We're grabbing the tape, which we need for for game progress. But he's also going to go ahead and grab Thanatos. All of the weapons have different properties to them. The big thing with Thanatos is that it increases your damage, and it does so much damage that it is faster than the designated fast weapon, which is Anima, and it's like unquestionably the fastest thing. So, and you remember we did that save point. So what he did just now was he hit return to checkpoint to avoid a bunch of different loadings. And the corruption that it builds is not significant enough to make it really dangerous. You see the percent goes up. That's like a corruption meter. If you've ever played Dragon Quarter, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah. I've forgotten the door code a number of times in the middle of running because of this combat encounter. And I don't know if that happens to the other runners, but it happens to me.
It might happen now. Let's see. 2-2-1.
I got it for you. It's 2-2-1.
Yes, it's 2-2-1. Okay. Wasn't sure if it's 2-1-1 or 2-2-1.
It happens every time, right?
Yes.
Like, there's always that you put the number in and it's like, oh, thank God.
It should be so easy, but it's really not.
And I missed the part of the run where running Luna, where like the Luna running attack was the big thing being used, but Thanatos running kind of replaces it. But you see how this works basically with Thanatos in certain setups. You hit a run attack into these enemies on the easy difficulty, and they just instantly break and melt.
Yeah, throughout this run, we'll basically build our character to be as powerful as possible so that we can just break enemies like this for the entire run, even though the enemies are supposed to get bulkier, we get stronger too.
Yeah, especially in neutral.
Downside is, of course, that if you focus on offense, you don't get any defense. So you don't get any health ups from campsites or whatever.
You run out of charge, it's on you. Yeah. That is a big difference between the neutral ending any percent run and the 100% category. There are virtues that you only get by leveling, and leveling your character certain ways. Like you have to hit upgrade vitality at least once to get one of them. So thankfully you get to skip all that, and that allows you to actually just pump points into strength. Whereas when we're doing 100% runs, we're constantly having to look at the numbers and make sure we've got them all set correctly so we get all the virtues. Speaking of virtues, those little prayer beads let you equip more of them. Not sure how many of those you end up picking up. And you're about to skip Incensed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just do adaptive dashing the whole run. Incensed allows you... Incensed reduces the stamina use from running, and it makes running a lot easier, generally speaking, without being interrupted. But you've probably already seen a little bit of it. You can regain stamina at the end of attacks by shifting your weapon set. That's what's called adaptive. That's one of the virtues. And that's how RC is going to be getting back all of his stamina for the rest of the run. Nice break.
Yeah, sometimes that enemy disappears before I can get it off. But
yeah, I have problems with that guy sometimes too.
A lot of this spacing, I try to do it as quickly as possible, my attacks, so that I can still hit him, but only with the very edge of my attack. That way I can get the kills easier. Yeah, so this part is also optional. It's for another virtue called Hated. And Hated increases my my damage output, but it also increases the amount of damage that I take. So
Right. Which doesn't matter because we're swag.
exactly. Unless we are, then it kind of starts to get
Yeah, and then
a
you
bit
run dice, that's
problematic
it.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
like starting at like the tail end of this arena, I'll start getting a bit scared whenever things don't go my way because the enemies start to hit really hard. Oh, one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is unstoppable. So there's a virtue that you get right from the start, which allows me to survive one fatal attack with 1 HP, which recharges whenever healed full. And for most of the run, that's quite useful, but especially later on, there are enemies that will use multi-hit attacks. So
Right, and just blow right through it.
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts fans will know this as second chance. It's the with Lucah you get it immediately because it's quite frankly it's kind of an important feature. You're basically playing a challenge run if you turn off Unstoppable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one thing that I haven't used for Thanatos yet is its hold action, which
I was about to say yes. Let's see a Thanatos hold action.
Yeah, kind of forgot it for the previous fight, but yeah, it's very powerful, but it takes forever. So
right, if you let one rip and it whiffs, it's the worst feeling in the world.
Exactly.
And a lot of times you do running light, and then the follow-up just kills anyway. Especially once we get Erebos.
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna buy Erebos, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Erebos.
Yeah.
I'm even buying heal.
You did that. Oh, and you buy heal too? I didn't notice that.
Only for marathon safety though.
Right.
Like Dev, the main glitch hunter for this game, would get very upset with me if I didn't. So I'll just get it. Okay, so Sarah, if this fights look like a bit of a mess, then that's because it's always like that. Oh,
nice.
Hello there.
Oh, you got her.
Gonna let maybe like less than 10 times in like the 100 times I fought her.
So
the instant parry.
So here's the thing about the Sarah fight for the viewers. She stands there at the beginning of the fight as part of the cutscene, and then there's some significant RNG as to what she does next. A lot of times she just charges at you, but she can do other stuff, which obviously slows things down. The other thing that could slow you down is that for whatever reason, when she charges at you and attacks, it's like one of the hardest parries in the game, you know? So if you hit it, you get a really fast boss fight, and then it's over. He just equipped Erebos. We talked about it earlier. Erebos' sub-effect is that it increases break damage, as in it increases the damage done to enemies while they are broken. Obviously, I mean, we didn't really need that for regular enemies, but you'll see what happens to Christian here in a second. I mean, we've got fast strategies for most of the bosses in the game, but this is this is about to be pretty nice.
Yeah. Awkward thing about commentating this one is we all think that it's very impressive that we just keep quick killing all these bosses, but we've been doing that the entire run. So
right, and a lot of did you got Franker Z for your name? Nice.
Of course. I can't see the chat, but one of my friends is watching, and he will tell me what the chat is like.
So yeah, he just parried and one-hit Christian with Thanatos Erebos, which is, I mean, that's like the fastest boss so far, actually. Interesting thing there, you cannot actually return to checkpoint on that screen. You have to go through the one screen because for whatever reason, the pause menu will not load on that screen. There's a few screens like that in the game where because of cutscene flags or other weird things like that, it's mostly in Cradle in the tutorial where you can't do it.
Okay, so the enemies here are very interesting because they're very resistant to breaking. So instead of just the classic dash up and kill them, I'll kind of try to use combos here. So this one breaks easy, but the others are a bit feistier. So what I want is to just put out a lot of hitboxes, and the fourth attack in your chain will be, or I'll try to make it a Erebos heavy attack, which is 3 hitboxes in one attack.
And very long.
And very long, so I also have time to get into impulse familiars, and that way you just sort of burst the enemies down with damage instead of the usual break and then kill them.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing. I think that a lot of first-time players, I mean, and I'm saying by first-time players, I mean, you get Thanatos or you get Erebos, and it's like, well, damage is already increased in break, so why would I use this? And then you see the heavy attack, and it's like, oh, because like you'll break an enemy, they might be further away, and then if you're too far away to do a hold action, you just do that, and it's 3 hitboxes at range, and they're broken. So it does a ton of damage, and it kills them. It's really effective. Here's a combat skip. You have to stick along this little balcony here, because if you go any further north, it'll trigger a combat encounter, and it's, it's like DMC style combat, so when it's combat, you like the doors get locked. Are you still playing, is this 1.5?
Yes, it's 1.5.
Okay, so yeah, there used to be another skip like that. Well, not like that, actually. There used to be another combat skip earlier in the game in the parry fight, but that actually just got patched out.
Oops. These level up screens are also always kind of frantic, especially now when I don't really need more stamina and charge. I usually just hope that I see an attack bonus in time, and otherwise I'll just click the nearest one that isn't health. Yeah, I'm a bit low on health, but there's still plenty of time to catch up.
Oh, well, this fight shouldn't be a concern for each time. Bang, bang.
So this is one of the very few fights that I'll use a rewind on. Nothing so bad. If you rewind a boss, almost every boss does the same thing at the start. And if you miss this parry, you'll get a very nasty attack that you can't counter. And I honestly don't know if I would be able to dodge it either. I haven't done it in so long. But yeah, if I mess up here, it's just try the wave again. It's fine.
Right, and that's one of the only, I mean, you can do this for other boss fights, but it's one of the only boss fights where runners have actually really done it very much. Just because sometimes you accidentally attack too much or whatever. It's funny, especially because that's one of the easiest parries in the game, and sometimes we still miss it.
Yeah, true. Easy to overthink parries in this game.
Are you able to parry the left and right arm attacks, or no?
No, you can't, but can perfect dodge, because the virtue that I haven't explained yet, empowered, it increases your damage for a short time after a perfect dodge. So what you do there is do the perfect dodge to trigger the effect. And if my levels are high enough, I can kill immediately. In this case, I can
a double break.
Immediately kill the boss. Yeah, that went a bit wrong. I wanted to use the Thanatos hold action there, but some inputs in this game are kind of tight. Bound to miss something. Bit of a mess, but in the grand scheme of things, only maybe 10 seconds, maybe 15, but nothing drastic.
This is a bit of a lull moment.
Oh, press start too early. Usually my visual cue is to wait for all the UI elements to disappear, but it was a bit too early there, I guess.
It's honestly a bit embarrassing how often I still forget to hold menu at the beginning of cutscenes because I just forget there's a cutscene there. It's really embarrassing.
No. Yeah. We don't need to keep talking about it, it's fun. So Lethean is very scary. Enemies are strong, they do multiple hits per attack, I might die. And it's also a very long way back to, oops,
It's a bad death, yeah.
yeah. Also not quite as high in terms of attack levels that I want to be. Also, I changed my virtues and mantras around again. Or only my mantras really. I have Thanatos on both now, but I have different heavy attacks.
Yeah.
The one with impulse, I have the enema heavy attack so that I can do my opening attack a bit quicker, and then the Heal Familiar has arrows for finishing enemies off.
Right, and you've been doing that as your PB strategy for a while now, where you get anima just to increase the speed of the first attack, and then you switch over to Erebos, which guarantees a kill after the break.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't quite guarantee it, and it's very scary, but that's the main idea. Also, I used Heal earlier. The Heal Familiar, very basic. You use all of your charge, and it fully heals you. And that's a bit of a double-edged sword, because when I do that, I don't have charge for impulse, so I might not be able to break my next enemy, which means that I might get hit again.
And it's not instant. That's gotten me a number of times.
And it's not instant.
One thing you just...
Especially aggressive today.
Sorry.
Uh-oh. Well...
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, it's fine. My estimate is very, very big, but... Yeah, that's what happens at Lethean. I can at least get my power back up, but...
There you go. Now we're on
That's
track.
a bit of a setback. So what I wanted to say was, enemies in this area tend to be quite aggressive, so at times I want to actually just go for the parry instead of being aggressive myself, because I might risk getting hit, and getting hit is bad. There's a parry. Ooh. Worst part of this is that you have to mash through all this text again.
Yep. There's a lot of text to mash through here.
This prick.
What a trade.
Yeah. See, I told you enemies are aggressive. Even if I just attack as early as possible, sometimes it's just...
Now that I'm thinking about it, I've had random Lethean runs, random deaths in Lethean where I never expected them. I chalk it up to me being bad, but I forgot to be. Here's a combat skip. It says you cannot brave the darkness, but even though you cannot brave the darkness, you can walk backwards through it, and that actually allows you to skip a portion of that combat, and also I think the beginning of that cutscene, which you already did it once, but that happens. There's also a similar combat skip. Oh, in the harbor, I forget what that track is called.
You call it
Stay Here? Yeah, Stay Here. Yeah.
Anyway, it's a good thing that I died, but now we get to actually explain that. We have another opportunity to give a shout out to Def again.
True. Shout outs to Daf. Daf has discovered a lot of the significant tech in this game that exists, and was also at one point the 100% world record holder. Completely demolished the record that I had at the time.
Yeah.
So they're a very good player in this game as well.
If a skip looks a little strange, it's probably one that found.
Exactly.
So I'm at the power level that I want to be now, 17. I, of course, cheated a little by dying, so I got more EXP, but usually an 11% around the campfire that I was usually at. If I'm kind of lucky, I'll get to 17, and that's the point where I just stop leveling up because I have all the stats that I want.
Hmm. And now we're about to get transformed, which is going to make the rest of the game really easy, as you can see.
Well, it's
So that
it's easy to get through to optimize it. There's still quite a bit of nuance to it, but
that's true.
whether I play good or bad for the people at home, it's probably always looks fast.
So we're already coming up on, this is basically the final area. So it's just a gauntlet of difficult combat encounters, including it reuses some of the bosses once or twice. Or I might be thinking of New Game Plus, but
There's
anyway.
still some bosses in there. You won't really get to see them, but
So anyway,
if you pay
yeah, now we
attention,
have Transform, which is basically Devil Trigger, and you turn it on, your damage goes way up, and you lose stamina way less fast and all that. And the thing about it is that it rapidly increases your corruption, again, like Dragon Quarter. But partially because we haven't died, so we haven't been building up corruption percent throughout the run. So we can use corruption, we can use the transform mechanic literally for the rest of the run until credits.
we haven't died exactly.
No, there was only one death, which was the one I saw. Right, here we go. That's my favorite combat encounter in the whole fucking game. That's so good. Oh, man. Yeah, as you can see, Transform is some real rip and tear type stuff. Erebos Heavy is also really fast in spite of being a heavy attack. That's one of the other things about it.
Alright, so coming up on the two final bosses. First, then we met your Christian, and both final bosses have they both have 3 phases, but if I do things correctly, we'll completely skip the third phase of Christian. So what I'm going to try and do is end the second phase in such a way that the hitbox that ended that phase is still active when the next phase starts. And when I do that, the third phase just dies like normal because it gets hit by an attack. It's a bit finicky though in terms of spacing, so.
So it barely matters at all, but taunting, which you just unlocked, increases. It actually is like hated. It increases damage taken and received, I believe.
Yes.
Or sorry, given and received. So so that stacks with hated as well, which can make it very good for the true ending portion, but which we're not really going to see much of it. And you're not going to taunt. You're not going to taunt Messiah, are you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, really?
So I equipped a different virtue here called Repellent, which allows me to deflect back enemy projectiles, and when I do it counts as a parry. And combined with taunting, even though I don't have Transform anymore, I can just kill stuff. This phase is quite something.
This can be really scary. When you die on Messiah, it's during the second phase. Yeah.
We're almost done, I hope. There we go.
Sweet
time
parry.
is when
Good work.
Time is when the boss explodes. Time. Yeah, that's it. That's Lucah, Born of a Dream. Neutral ending on easy. Thank you, Durant, for being here. Maybe a bit late, but the commentary was fine, so I'll forgive you this time.
I'm always late. That's my gimmick.
Pretty good gimmick, I'd say. But yeah, Lucah's a great game. If you have been looking at it, you'll probably know that by now. So please play Lucah.
Yeah, Lucah, fantastic game. Wonderful sound design, really good music. There's a ton more content that you're not even seeing here. And if you've ever wanted to play a game that's like Kingdom Hearts and Devil May Cry at the same time with a really good art style and is basically the best game of the 2010s, then go for it.
Yep.
And thanks everybody for joining us.
Yeah, with that we're done.
That was such a great run. I'm so glad we got that out there. Again, do you guys have any other shout outs or anything like that? Extra shout outs or anything like that?
Shout outs to DAF. Shout outs to Colin Horgan, lead developer of the game, who is pretty active in his/their own Discord for the game. And has interacted with the speed community a fair bit. And Dapper Fox. Does Dapper Fox go by any other names? I think Dapper Fox had some
Rin,
of the first.
I think.
Rin had some of the first any percent runs, and trying to think of anybody else. No, that's about it. Thanks to my roommates for helping me get set up, even though I was going to be late and all that. So that's part of that. Yeah.
Oh, also, I didn't ask because I don't really want to know after that death. But what was my time?
Should have been.
Okay, still
that's
still
good.
Reasonable enough.
Yeah,
that's respectable. I think the best right now is like what, 32?
3105.
3105. Okay, cool.
I got like
quite
a lot back still.
And if people maybe they were in chat and like, I really want to pick up this speed run. Where can they go to get information about maybe like a learning curve if they went to maybe like a Discord or anything like that?
You know what? Actually, the best place to learn the game is the speedrun page the speedrun.com page for it. So I'm going to pull it up really quick. I'll try and put I can find a link to give to everybody else.
Pretty sure it's speedrun.com/Lucah.
Speedrun.com/Lucah, and then guides.
Hopefully they have changed the right Discord server. Linked to the wrong one here, but
yeah, 1 second. Here we go. And this is especially useful if you want to learn. There's some save files in here which help you practice specific boss fights. And then the all items guide is really, really essential if you want to start running 100% because it helps you start learning the route. It helps you start learning the route. And if you want to buy the game, of course, you can get it on Steam. But I also highly encourage you to go to me-3.itch.io/Lucah to purchase the game because that is Colin gets more money. That's the short version.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much. Just real quick before we move on to the next game, these hotfix shows are brought to you by viewers like you. If you would like to have ad-free viewing, consider using your Prime Gaming account to support the weekly GDQ hotfix content. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, consider subbing to the channel or even sharing to your other shows on social media. Also, don't forget that Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 online is complete. The total is 2.78 million for now. As a reminder, all of GDQ's portions of gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits cheered on GDQ Twitch channel for the month of January will be donated to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So there's still a chance that we can get that 3 million total. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. Consider using your Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. We're going to take a small break real fast to play some ads so you guys can get up, stretch a little bit, hydrate, use the restroom, take a little break, and then we're going to get things going with CrossCode coming up next. Alrighty, welcome back to The Bargain Bin, a show about speedrunning games all under $20. I'm your host, Midnight Vesper, and we have CrossCode coming up here in just a second. But first, just so you guys are fully aware that Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 online is complete. The total was 2.78 million for now. As a reminder, all of GDQ's portions of subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits cheered to the GDQ Twitch channel for the month of January will be donated to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So there's still a chance we can get that $3 million total. Also, don't forget that the Games Done Quick Hotfix, what you're watching right now, is a series of shows that happens every week here at Games Done Quick. Information on all of our hotfix shows is going to be available at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. And if you're joining us on YouTube in the future, consider checking us out at our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you have an Amazon Prime account as well, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. Please consider using your Prime gaming account to subscribe to the Twitch gaming channel. And now I'm proud to toss on over to Sloa with this amazing 16-bit Super Nintendo themed love story of Super Nintendo. Sloa, sorry, I had the script here and then I lost my place in the script and
that's pretty great. What's going on, everyone? My name is Slow the Demon. As Vesper said, this is very much a love letter to more akin to the classic 16-star. This game has 16-bit, not 16-star, but 16-bit style. This has a lot of references, a lot of pop culture references, a lot of movies, games, things like that. Unfortunately, with the 80% category, we're not going to see a lot of those. There's some, if I do see them, I will point them out. But real quick before we start, though, I really want to give some big shout outs to not only the CrossCode speedrunning community, who has apparently I'm very loud. I apologize. I can turn myself down a bit. But again, I just want to give a big shout out to the speedrunning community, who's helped out tremendously on making this game go from 3 hours to just under 30 minutes. The speedrun for over 2 years has come a very, very long way. I just want to give big shout outs to the developers who've been huge supporters of this speedrunning community. They've helped us through thick and thin, through anything that has been a problem for us. They've been big helps. Also want to give, again, I finally want to give big shout outs to Vesper for allowing me to showcase this. CrossCode doesn't get into very many big scenes, so this is pretty big for us. But with that being said, one more thing I will say is I apologize. Everything's going to be going very fast, and I'm going to try to explain things as fast as I possibly can and as things go on. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with the run. I'm sure everyone's very excited to check this out. So we will start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so real quick, the beginning here is just going to be just showing us how to play the game. It's just a quick tutorial. Okay, there's an interesting glitch that can happen there. It's really weird. Sometimes the enemy just won't come up to you. We don't know why it happens. It's kind of funny. I apologize, I'm dealing with maladies. But here it's kind of showing us that you can use different elements against other elements, and that can exploit weaknesses and stuff. That's kind of what that part right there is supposed to be showing. So this next part's gonna be showing us how to use arts. Unfortunately, in the 80%, we're not going to see very many arts being used in the speedrun, and you'll see very shortly why. So just from the intro here, about the first minute or so of this right here is not going to be. You're not going to really see much happening, but just getting through all these tutorials, and we will be getting into the very glitchiness of this game. And I'll be showing how this game, like I said, has gone from 3 hours to just under 30 minutes. Okay, so what we need to do, this is going to be, this is known as a menu glitch. So we need, yes, that one. Okay, so that is known as menu glitch, and now we need to go ahead and go into the new game here, and then we're going to carry that save over, that menu over, or at least one of them, to over here. So we're going to be able to save here because we can't actually save originally. So, and now we're going to save while that save is loading, and this is going to activate what is known as blank save, which, yes, okay. I don't remember if I did that correctly. And then we want to put this, and then Continue. Okay, and that was known as a back in time. Like I said, this goes all very, very quickly, and I have to I have to just kind of focus here. I apologize if I'm missing anything. Vesper will be relaying any questions for me, thankfully. Thank you, Vesper. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to pay attention too much to the chat, and I apologize. So here, this pretty much, I'm not actually supposed to be able to do any of this right here, as you can see, and that's what kind of blank save does. So this right here is what is known as save warp. I know, I apologize, I'm just kind of going through these and just saying names, and you're like, I don't understand what any of these names mean, like, or what they do. Like, it's just all wizardry and witchcraft, I'm sure. But as I get a little bit of time here to talk about it, pretty much, so what a save warp is when you save between a transition, the game will get confused and try to put you at a similar name, and then which it go ahead and when we do that, we happen to just hit a okay that didn't work. It will actually end up putting us into a different placement. Back in time was another one I talked about. Back in time, essentially what it does is it puts, to put it in short, is it pretty much takes one save and puts it in the location of another save. So this is Carla skip. This kind of just skips over the intro part of the game. It saves about 18-ish seconds. It's not that big. But because we've already triggered the cutscene, we can now use the elevator to go ahead and go to the second floor and continue on with more tutorial stuff.
So what got you really interested in speedrunning CrossCode?
Really and truly, it was just how amazing the casual playthrough of this game was. I loved the art style, I loved the combat, I loved everything. Oh, oops, okay, well, I guess we'll have a little bit of time here to talk, because I accidentally hit yes. But it was the art style, the gameplay, just everything about it, and then we got into, then we found a lot more of the glitching, and even more than that, that's what pushed me even more to want to speedrun this game. Well, also the tricks, the glitches, the art style, and just, like I said, it being an amazing casual game. Okay, so we're gonna manipulate this guy here real quick. No, I didn't. Darn. So you can actually make it where he actually does one jump and he doesn't actually go for two. So y'all have heard of One Punch Man, right?
And I mean, I have. I'm an anime guy.
You're an anime guy? That's fair. But yeah, we just one punch there very easily. So the spin dance art on Shizuka here essentially is way more powerful than the regular spin dance. It just can just one shot, and also the fact that we're playing Shizuka, who has level 60 plus stats, also helps a lot there. Okay, so here we're just gonna do what is known as a long. Okay, so you've already seen me do this. This here is known as a long jump. Originally you're not supposed to be able to dash in the air, but due to the fact that if we're able to do a slash or a guard or even just aiming in general, it'll allow us to. It will allow us to actually dash in the air, and due to the fact that we can dash in the air, we can get into ledges and so on and so forth that we not normally supposed to be able to. Oh, that was smooth. Let's go. Okay, and then we're gonna do another save warp here. This would be a good time if you have any more questions.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So is this what other games? I guess are you speedrun? Do you speedrun kind of the same genre, like the RPG type thing? Do you kind of branch out or anything else along those lines?
I mostly speedrun RPGs. I much prefer longer speedruns, but this one really, like I said, I just fell in love with the speedrun very much. I fell in love with this game, fell in love with the speedrun. I'm very passionate about this game, as you might have guessed. This is a very precise shot. I don't know why I'm not getting it. There you go. That was awkward. I was like just a few pixels off there. That's why I was missing that.
So, someone did ask what platform this is on. I know it's on Steam and I know it's on Switch. It came out last year, I believe, on the Switch 2020.
Yes.
Do you know if there's any differences in terms of the routing or any sort of mechanics whatsoever between the Steam and the Switch version?
Yes. So the menu glitch does work slightly different in the Switch version. There's also a lot of the tricks like moon jumping. There's price differences. There's actually quite a few differences between the Switch and the PC version.
Now, by price, do you mean like something like a type of mechanic in the game or actual currency?
So in the version that we're currently playing, or like a version difference I'm talking about, you'll notice if you played on the Switch version that the backer items that we call them, so like they usually cost about 5,000. Whereas in the current version, it's about they all cost about 77777. They're all like sevens. So because of that, it also can slows down the speedrun. Not too much. It's just like a tiny bit. It's not like insane difference.
So you had a menu there with a bunch of that looked like skills or anything like that. Are they all maxed out, or is there anything important about them?
So we do need those certain skills. There's only one certain skill we need. So this is let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. We only need certain circuits and stuff like that. To get certain amounts of damage and stuff like that. We're gonna be doing a more safer route that's more marathon-ish friendly. So that's the only. So unfortunately, no, they're not actually going to be important. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh. Sorry, it's hard to use brain while focusing on this. Like I said, it takes a lot of my attention. Why am I messing this up? This is not hard. Actually, it is hard. This is actually one of the harder types of. Okay. There you go. So the thing is, you had to time those very correctly. So this right here is a example of what happens when you do a save warp and there's no exit list that matches with it. It just puts you into a default spot. That default spot just happens to be where it sends us to an area that we're supposed to be here. We aren't supposed to be able to enter this location until minimum chapter 9. And so now we're doing what's known as the vendor glitch. This version is known as the infinite money glitch. So we can overflow past the number, and as long as we can purchase we can purchase more than we own in the cell here, if I can do it correctly. So this is another version, like a version difference, as you were asking about before, versus like the Switch versus the PC. This is a version difference. You're not actually able to do this on the Switch version due to the fact that of like very specific frame you have to land here. It's very weird. You have to like hit it like unlike the other ones where you hit the same frame. You have to like hit like it's like the frame after. It's like frame or two after.
I'm just on all of these glitches.
Yeah, the glitches are like you just watch these and you're just like, this is just witchcraft. I don't even understand what's going on. I completely understand how people can be very confused what's going on. I can never remember exactly how much we need here, so I just get like a mil and one mil and just be like, all right, that's good enough.
Do you have any idea how people found some of these glitches, or maybe you discovered them?
They were all purely by accident.
What's the best kinds of glitches?
Yeah, they were all. Most of these were either by pure accident or just people experimenting. So the menu glitch was found probably a month after the game was released. I think someone came up to the thing and said, "Hey, I found this," and we started experimenting with it, and we found all different variations of it, and it just kind of broke the game in half. And then I know blank save, which is one of the things I tried to talk about earlier. That one was found a lot earlier in the game. All right. So here I'm gonna have to unfortunately close out the game for this next one. So you guys can look at my nice little desktop here. I don't think I got anything compromising there, so it's not a big deal. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to this save, and we're going to do what's known as a character swap. So character swap is kind of similar to it's kind of similar to how you do a back in time, but you need to have a loading screen with it. So like how you got that little swirl in the bottom right, that if you save while that is going, it'll initiate what is known as a character swap. And with that, we can swap from Shizuka, or we can swap from Shizuka straight to Lie. So now we're going to do what is known as the barrier skip. This is a very recent trick that was found. I don't think that's going to work. That'll work. So pretty much what you can do is if you have tutorial skips, you change the tutorials skip or you turn on the tutorials while you're in the middle of going into the barrier when it tries to push you back. The game says then the tutorial tries to go off when you stop spinning. And then it's like, while you're in there, it just kind of breaks the elasticity of the barrier and just allows you to go through. And we call that barrier skip. So I'm going to do a little bit of grinding just for safety. I don't actually need to do this, but like I said,
marathon
I'm just going to do this for safety.
right?
Yeah. I don't, like I said, it's not absolutely needed unless you're doing okay, I'm not going to even bother with you. You're not even worth it. Okay, I guess we're gonna do that. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Okay, well, I deserve that. That was my fault. I'm just gonna...
Just so you know, when you closed out the game, it reset everything on our end, too. So it's on the page, but on the Discord, it's not.
Oh my goodness, I forgot. Hold on.
Don't worry about it.
I'll get a second here to do it. It's not a big deal. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Oh, oops! I went way farther than I needed to. All right, so okay, I went too far here. Oh, no, I don't want to. What? No, game. I don't want to fix my save. Fine, I'll fix my save. Gosh. All right, so if you couldn't tell, that was intentional. While that goes, I will. There we go. But this guy's super difficult. Impossible fight. So we're just gonna I guess gonna have to do that. We're just gonna surrender to him. And the only way we can do that is if our HP hits 0. So go ahead and do that. And Yeah. So you don't actually have to fight this fight. You just have to initiate the fight, and then your HP just has to hit 0, and then the fight just ends. So we manipulate that. That can take a little bit sometimes. You can manipulate a little bit doing that right there. All right, so believe it or not, we're almost to the final dungeon. Believe it or not. You're probably thinking, oh, like anyone that's actually played this game but never seen a speedrun, you're probably thinking, but you're only halfway through the game. How could that be? Well, my young Padawan, I will let you learn as we go. So if we do, this is a save warp stack. So you can carry a exit name with you and until it finds a similar exit. This is one of them. Oops, I messed up. That's okay. I can just use this. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I take it back. I'm fine. I can just do it this way instead. So, it's okay. Yeah, we're fine. Oh, new game. Nice. Sometimes the game just randomly will drop your input, and it's fun. If you have too many saves, it starts like dropping your inputs and such. So we're gonna just do it back in time here. I didn't hear it. I hope that worked. Nope, it did not. Just to be safe, I'm just going to. There we go. That worked.
And real quick,
I can tell it.
go ahead. Did you say there was something with the game audio now that you reset your run?
No.
Okay, because chat's not hearing any game audio from what I'm seeing in chat.
Oh my goodness, I know why. I forgot. Hold on. I know why it's doing that. I forgot. It acts weird when I. There you go. Now people should hear audio. My apologies. Oh my goodness, that was so unlucky. Oops, I forgot to eat a spicy biotype. Darn it. I messed that up. That was my fault. Darn it. I'm not like doing it very well. I can tell. It's okay. As long as I'm not messing anything up, it's not that big a deal. Okay, yeah, I thought there was one left.
Okay, and chat's still saying that the audio is not there yet, so I'm so sorry.
What in the world? It should be fixed.
Oh, we got it now. It's fixed.
Okay, it just must have been late on the thing there. It's unfortunate that I did it because I unfortunately have to do it again.
Well, we'll see.
Oh no. I'm gonna have to fix it again. I know exactly why it did it, and so y'all have to bear with me just a second here. I will be as fast as I possibly can here.
Okay, so in the meantime, while we get all this stuff back up and running, if people are interested in following you, where could they follow you at?
Well, they could easily follow me on my Twitch channel. That's mostly where I have. That's mostly where I do speedruns for CrossCode. Like I said, or pretty much any of my speedruns. I do CrossCode, Final Fantasy Tactics are like the two biggest ones I'm known for. So you can follow me on twitch.tv. I messed that up. That was oops. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to. Sorry, trying to think of two things at once. It's like it's hard to do this. That's not a big deal. But you can follow me, like I said, on my Twitch channel. My name is Slow the Demon. So if you guys would like, follow me. I am there.
All right, so we had a question that was in the chat, like, what's your favorite character in this game?
My favorite character, that's a hard one. I've never actually thought about that before. Oh, I forgot to turn off tutorials. That's awkward. Probably Emily, probably Amelia, or I believe it's pronounced Amelia. Oops, I messed this up. I forgot I was supposed to get a save. That's okay. It's not a big deal. Oh, it's a big deal, the fact that I didn't win the bill again. But she is French, so it's like that's why I was like, I believe it's pronounced Amelie. So and then I'm going to do it one more time. Apologize, chat. Okay. And then I need this one. And then and bam. Okay. All right. There will be no more of that. So I promise you, there's no more no more needing to fix the thing. Let me get my space out here. Good. Whew, okay.
I do enjoy the fact that chat is just going crazy about all these glitches.
I'm sure they are. The glitches in this game are absolutely mind-blowing. Like, probably more mind-bending than anything. Like, just the fact that you just look at these and you're like, how is this possible?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Like I said, this is what I'm talking about when I said that outside of a credits warp, I don't see this game going any further than it is now. All right, so we've done a lot of save warp stacking here, and then we're going to do one more so we can skip the boss. All right, we have one more gauntlet here. I also forgot to use my space and type. Okay, well, that shows you what happens if you get hit while you're trying to eat. I would have preferred not to show that, but hey, happens. Oh, I got it. I still got it. Can I hold it? Can I hold it? No, not even for the chat. No. It's okay. Yeah, so that one can be a little, that fight can be a little, it's not hard, it's just like, it's just when you do that and you miss it and you're like, oh, sad face.
Yeah. Happens to me all the time in my runs.
So we're going to do what is a trick known as double dipping. Oop, wrong one. So what we can do here is we can actually get a second one here after we get the first one. Let me like load it on here. Okay, and I'm going to grab this, and I can hit this, and then so we're going to just dodge this real quick while I let me Fandango.
So someone in chat kind of alluded to it, like they said this is a pretty big game. There's a lot of glitches. What would a glitchless run look like?
So we do actually have what's basically a no major skips category, which is basically what someone I'd highly recommend checking out. Would probably look like for a glitchless run, because there's a lot of exploits in this game. Like the barrier skip I did, that's technically actually not even a glitch; it's an exploit. There's a lot of things that you can argue is not actually a glitch. In this game. So
I always enjoy glitch heavy runs. It's always been a thing for me, and I like love in both categories. But there's something about
Indeed.
glitch heavy runs.
Indeed. But here, I think I have to agree with Sergey here. Gotham, you've got to be joking. This is the biggest puzzle in the entire game. It can take a bit casually to figure out, but once you got it down pat, it's a lot of fun to pull this off with the speed strats. It's also one of my biggest reasons why I love speedrunning this game. Alright,
I really do love the
that's
music
it.
in this game.
Oh, the music game is fantastic.
Yeah.
Alright, we're on the final gauntlet here, and then we're off to the final boss. The
Nice.
boss is the longest part of this stuff, so this fight's probably, I'd say, 2 or 3 minutes at most, and then the boss is like 10 to 15 minutes or something crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, the final boss is very long.
And within the last couple of minutes, if anyone in chat does have any questions, I'll happily relay them.
Indeed. I mean, when we get to the final boss, while it's long, it's not a very difficult boss. So I'm more than welcome to answer questions in the final boss too.
Also, you did tell me beforehand that during the boss there may be a scene that could be potentially Steven, do you think?
Yes. So I will let people know during when we get to the second phase, not the first phase. The first phase is for the most part it will be fine. But once we get to the hold on, let me see if I can do this for the chat. For the fans, no, I dropped it.
Oh.
It's okay. It happens. This one's not that big of a deal if you drop it. It's the other one that loses time if you drop it. Because this one you still have to kill these last two for the game to be over. So now we are level 11. Gonna just grab as much damage as we possibly can here.
Did you say you were level 11?
Yes.
Is that low or high for this type of RPG?
That's really low, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's, do I really need to borrow this? I'm trying to think if I actually don't think I do. Because it's like, you're pretty limited on what you can grab here, so that's why I'm like... But at the same time, like, a lot of this stuff is... A lot of the skills and stuff like that are very pointless, so... Fire, okay. Oh, and... everything here? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm only like, I think, one more level than I actually usually get in this, with this route. So, it's not like I got much more. The optimal route actually ends at like 14? I think it is.
That seems low.
Yeah, the no menu glitches or no menu glitches and the all dungeons route I think ends around 36 or something, 40-ish something. It's kind of low-ish too, but I think that's about how I landed on. That kind of always has some really cool tech to it. Both those categories respectively.
Yeah.
But as you can see, we're not taking much damage. We're not really that worried about this fight. This is what I meant by this fight's not difficult. Okay, I shouldn't have ate there. That was silly of me. But it still broke him anyway. Okay. Better lucky than good, I guess. But as you see that, like, as we continue going through these, he progressively keeps adding newer and newer things to the fight. But I already know what's coming, so it's like it doesn't actually give me a surprise.
Are there patterns to these boss fights?
Yes and no. They're like there's at least consistency enough, if that makes sense, that you can predict things. But he after he introduces the new thing, because he always introduces the new thing in the next phase, first, and then oops, I'm using the wrong one. And then from there, what he does is kind of random, except when he gets to these turret phases, that he always opens with a turret. Oh, okay. I messed it up. That's fine. Okay. We are like 2 phases from, or 2 bars away from phase 1, I think. Or 1, I think. Actually, I want to roll 1. Because the one before the final one on phase 1, he does just a laser phase, so. We're... Okay, that was... I messed up on that one. That's fine. So here he should do the laser phase. So if you have any questions, this is a good time. Very good time. Oh no, it's not. Oh, no. I lied.
Oh, okay.
It's the next one. I thought it was this one. Apparently can't count. Oh.
Well, if Chad has any questions now, let's go ahead and start asking.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my god, how did I miss? No, I messed up. No.
Oh, no.
Oh well, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay, I killed him. I killed it. It's fine.
I like when you finish everything. You prevailed.
You prevailed. Yeah. I don't want to give away like too much spoilers in case people actually come out here just wanted to check it out and see if like it's something they want to pick up, which I highly recommend, by the way. Like,
a lot of people in
100%.
chat are saying that they may either have never heard of this game or they've heard rumors, but because there's been so many people in chat that have been like really positive talking about how good it is, a lot of people are starting to pick it up, which I love.
Yeah, very much. Please pick this game up. It's $20. It's an amazing game. Also, good time for questions right now.
I got one here. What's your favorite laser bridge?
Favorite laser bridge? Kind of. It's such a weird question. I guess the one in Autumn's Rise, because I think it's so kind of adorable how Amelia like gets so in awe about the laser bridge.
And people are talking about the DLC in the chat too, whether it's being in development when it's coming out soon or anything on those lines.
Yep, there is some what? How did that? What? I'm confused. I'm so confused. Yeah, there's some DLC in the works right now. It's supposed to be coming out. They said they're planning on it coming out sometime in 2021. But it's supposed to be pretty much. So if you've beaten this game, there's a post game that we can't access yet because they're going to eventually work on a DLC for the game. That's pretty much what we're waiting on. So here you'll see that he goes to the neutral phase and then he goes to the wave and shock phase. This isn't where the kind of the flashingness starts, but I mean there is a bit of flashingness here, I guess. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Why am I so bad? I mean, this is not like that big of a time waste, it's just very annoying. I'm never this bad with it, I promise.
So in the meantime, people ask, like, what's your current PB?
Current PD for this is 36 minutes and something. It's currently third place.
Oh, nice.
It's not the greatest third place, but I mean, I can probably save about 4-ish minutes without even the final boss strats. So there's some strategies that were found not too long ago. Actually, I guess it has been kind of like about a year and a half now or something since they've been found. But they were able to basically make it where we skip the multipliers on this, and it saves a hefty amount of time. Saves at least, I think, about a minute-ish or something. Which, you know, for a game this short, that's a lot of time.
That is, yeah. For something like this, you probably hear like a decent skipping, like maybe like 10, 20 seconds, not minutes, you know?
Yeah, it saves about a minute or two-ish, I think. I don't remember how much it actually saves. But, you know, like when the final boss is like 15-something minutes, you know?
Yeah.
It saves a pretty good chunk of time.
I do enjoy that it kind of evolved into like a mastodon.
Oh yeah, it is great. Oh, I mean, oh yes, got it. Let's go. That was so cool. Like sometimes I just forget where to stand and to get that skip here. So I believe not this phase, but the next upcoming phase it should be starting. So I would start getting ready to look. So once this phase is over, I would say just look away for pretty much the rest of this. I would say because the flashing is going to be a lot through this. Yeah, it's next phase.
That's a lot of damage there.
Yeah. So the funny, the fun fact about these numbers is they're actually real. Your numbers are actually getting multiplied.
Wow.
These are not fake numbers. Oh my goodness, I hate this phase so much. So it was essentially that. Again, I don't want to talk too much about it because it would kind of give away a bit of spoilers of the game. Oh, please. So unfortunately, I can't talk too much about why this is happening. But I know, of course, I know exactly why it's going on like this. But you just have to play the game to find out why this is working, why this is going like this.
This is a really cool like mechanic and fight that I see.
Yeah, very much so. So here, I would look away. As you can see, there's the flashing. It's very subtle, but it could be enough to trigger an epilepsy. All right, this is the second to last phase. This is the last elemental phase. And I'll get into what the final phase is once we get to it. But for now, I'm going to let. I don't want to ruin it for the chat in case you guys haven't seen it. That's okay. It's not like I can actually die in this. I mean, you can technically, but I have to get a debuff. And even then, it's like really close to dying. I'd be like only close to dying. But like because the numbers have become so humongous, and it shakes the screen, and it's very disorienting for me. So I turn it off. But as a what's the word? Like compromise. It does a big flashing and stuff like that. Okay, I almost didn't do it. All right, so now we are on the final phase here. So for a short little while here, you guys can go ahead and watch this. There's not going to be any like flashing anymore because we're not actually doing any hits. So if you guys want to watch this, but now we're on the final phase. He decides he's going to go ahead and take all those super powered up attacks he did on all the other phases, and he's going to put them all together. Oh my goodness, I got ruined. That could have been scary.
Oh wow.
I wasn't paying attention. I was talking. It's not that big of a deal. I'm really high HP right now, so I don't think it's gonna kill me. But he's gonna do 3 attacks of each one, and then he's gonna do one big one. I'm just once I get a chance here, I'm going to. That should be. Oh, that's not the one I'm gonna do. Okay, we're good. All right, time is coming up.
Whew.
Yeah. Like I said, I would only be close to dying, but. Okay, if you're again epilepsy warning, time is coming up, and time.
Nice.
But as a good man once said, I said a little too early here. That's okay. As a good man once said, and thus the experience is over. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you, Vesper, for considering putting up CrossCode on the bargain bin. And again, thank you guys. I thank the developers for being huge supporters and the community. Again, if you guys haven't already, pick up this game. It's such a great game. Even if you're not even going to pick up as a speed run, it's like casually, it's an amazing game. It's challenging, it's fun, it's got great mechanics, and you'll probably find yourself, just like I did, immersed within this game. It's fantastic. I could not recommend it more.
Awesome, and I really liked how chat was so positive. If there was someone that was watching here and they're like, man, I may want to pick up the speedrun. This looks like a really fun, challenging type of event. Where would they go?
Well, it's funny you ask, because if you check out the CrossCode Discord, like the official CrossCode Discord, we also have a dedicated speedrunning channel where we all talk. We're a bit of a small group, but you can check out the CrossCode. I can get the link right now if it's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, just so you guys know, once again, you are watching the Bargain Bin, where we showcase all speedrunning video games under $20. And don't forget that after we have one more run for the Bargain Bin, then after that, we have speedruns from the Crypt. A nice spoopy season for everyone there. So we're not Bargain Bin ends at 10, or it ends, I guess, in a little bit over an hour. I shouldn't time zone myself. We do have a plethora of stuff coming out tonight, so stay tuned.
Also, do you mind if I ask, what was my time? My final time?
47:27.
40. Oh no. Yeah, I did a lot of minor mistakes. That makes sense. I apologize for getting a little bit over there.
It happens.
Did a lot of minor mistakes that just went into big things. But here everyone is. That is the official CrossCode Discord again. So even if you're not even wanting to pick this up as if you just want to pick this up casually, that's also a great place to go. You can talk to a lot of people. There's a spoiler-free chats if you want to talk with other people. So recommend checking it out. This game is amazing.
Yeah.
Get you out there.
Yeah, and so we have one more run on the Bargain Bin coming up. That is going to be Grim Fandango Remastered. Just a quick couple announcements before we end up taking a small little break here. These hotfix shows are brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to have ad-free viewing, consider using Prime Gaming account to support the weekly GDQ hotfix content. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, consider subbing to the channel or even sharing our shows on social media. And don't forget, the GDQ Hotfix is a series of shows that happens every week here at Games Done Quick. Information on all of our Hotfix shows are going to be available at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. We're going to take a small break to play some ads, hydrate, stretch, walk around, whatever you fancy. We'll be right back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bargain Bin here on the GDQ Hotfix. I'm your host, Midnight Vesper. Coming up, we do have an amazing run, but first, a couple announcements. That AGDQ 2021 Online is complete. The total was $2.78 million for now. As a reminder, all of GDQ's portions of subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ channel for the month of January will be donated to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So there's still a chance we can get to that 3 million total. And if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. Please consider using the Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. Also, these GDQ Hotfix shows are a series of shows that happen every week here on Games Done Quick. Information on all of these Hotfix shows are going to be available at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. And coming up here right now is going to be Conception with Grim Fandango Remastered. How are you doing?
I am doing a fantastic. I hope you're all doing well out there as well. Thank you for that intro. And yeah, let's get to that 3 million. You know, it's still January. Get those subs in. But yes, thank you so much for that intro. My name is Conception 2. I will be running the remastered version of Grim Fandango here. I also do have an excellent commentator if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is CJ It's All Good, and I'm going to be doing commentary for Grim Fandango Remastered.
Indeed you will. Indeed you will. This is, if you're not familiar, this is a LucasArts point-and-click adventure game that originally came out in 1998, but the original studio behind it, Double Fine Studios, obtained the rights when Disney bought LucasArts, and they made a remaster version in 2015, and that is the version that we're going to be running on now. So we'll get a little bit into, you know, what the game is, what the plot is, like who the characters are and things like that, but for now, we will just get started, I think. So time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So this is Manny, by the way. He's going to be our main character. And he works in a travel agency for the Land of the Dead. I know we have a little bit more info on that. You want to talk a little bit about what it is Manny does here, CJ?
Yeah, so the story here is we're playing as Manny Calvert, who is a Grim Reaper. He's not like a Grim Reaper, more like a Grim Reaper. When you die, you get a travel agent that sets you up with a travel package for the afterlife. Good people get to ride the silver bullet train to Heaven's Gate, and other people have to go on foot for 4 years through fire and brimstone. So kind of a bad deal. You'll notice that there is some dialogue going on, and usually there's voice lines. If you ever have the chance to play it casually, it's a fun experience to listen to all the voice acting. But seeing as how we're speedrunners and all, we disable those to save some time.
Not to mention the soundtrack is absolutely incredible in this game.
Yeah, wonderful soundtrack. This giant orange dude that lives in a hut approximately the size of his person is Glottis. He's our buddy. He also is a master craft mechanic. Remember that for later, as it comes up quite often.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's absolutely the case. He's a mechanic. We actually have gotten a work order just now for him to be our driver going forward to a site of a death, for lack of a better term. Basically, we are still in the Land of the Dead, and we still, as a travel agent of sorts, still help people usher into the Land of the Dead. So we're trying to get Glottis basically the ability to drive us down.
Yeah, absolutely. Really quick, also important to note, we're playing on the PC version, which has a few animation skips that are exclusive to just this version, which makes PC kind of the prohibitively faster version of the game. We're going to go to the street fair here because we're going to need some balloons. Most of what we're going to do in this game is to try and solve as many of the puzzles as we can as fast as we can. Being a classic LucasArts point-and-click adventure, there are a few puzzles. So we're going to get 3 balloons here from this macabre Day of the Dead vendor, and a loaf of bread, which we're going to need for later. And one of my favorite things about this game is we're going to climb the side of this building. And you think, oh, well, this is going to be a lengthy process. We have to climb, and he doesn't look like he has a lot of upper body strength. And, now we're at the top. Just like that.
Doesn't look like he has muscles, actually.
You know, he's light on ligaments, but what he lacks in ligaments, he makes up for in heart. Nobody put that statement under a microscope.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Hey, I try. So, yeah, like I said, we're trying to just set everything up so that we can do the puzzles as fast as possible. Then we're going to climb down this ladder, holding on. There we go. We're at the bottom. There's some cutscenes. There's some little animations where Manny kind of has to walk forward before we resume control. That was one of them. There's going to be a few of those throughout the run where, you wish you could just kind of mash through it, but Manny kind of has to do his own thing.
There will be some, actually, that we will skip by doing what we call tank movement through transition points as well, which is basically where we simultaneously click the transition and use the arrow keys to move. and that makes it so that it skips that brief animation where he just kind of like walks forward without control for a few seconds. Saves a lot of time over the run, surprising amount of time over the run.
Yeah. So we just did our duties as a Grim Reaper. We just kind of freed a poor soul out of his body bag. That's you know, we do don the black cloak every now and then. We have the scythe. There's some ominous music, but for the most part, it's not that bad. This purple guy has a name.
Yeah. There's a name. Oh man, it's been so long since I played this casually, couldn't remember. But right now he is the tech person for this travel agency, and without spoiling too much, he'll come back later.
Mm-hmm. So you see these nozzles. These are filled with packing material, which we are going to take those balloons that we got from the street fair. We're gonna fill them up with some packing material and hold on to those for later. I think we grabbed 3 balloons and we filled 2 of them with packing material.
Correct.
So now we have... earlier, we snuck into our boss's office and put in a work order on the computer. Now we're going to go back to our office. You can see, like, they can hear, like, oh, there's a bunch of balloons under his jacket. And we're going to stick this non-phallic balloon full of packing material into the mnemonic mail tube. To try and get it nice and stuck.
Yep.
All right.
There we go. Those little blip outs are all cutscenes, by the way. We any cutscene that we can skip, we will. Which is also why the PC is the optimal way to run it, because any console version has the ability to skip some cutscenes, but not nearly as many as PC. So even over the best time on PC, you know, the console times are going to be somewhere like 15 minutes behind or so. Oops.
So we are going to use this fire extinguisher to...
Missed the animation skip there, yeah.
We missed it.
Yeah, it's okay.
So what normally happens there, what usually happens, is that you can skip that little animation skip by kind of getting the fire extinguisher stuck in the wall, it looks like. Instead there, we didn't hit it, so we had to put him out with the fire extinguisher, which is fine. We don't want anyone to burn to death in the mail sorting machine. But while he was distracted, we moved the lockout so that when he closes the door behind him, we can get back in there. So what is actually happening is we mentioned that Manny's a travel agent. And Manny, the way that Manny is going to move on to his afterlife is by getting clients, getting souls, with the best travel package, right? So getting them on that silver bullet train right to Heaven's Gate. Unfortunately, Manny's, and the way that it's determined is based on, you know, how good of a person you were. So that's Meche. She was a really, really good person. She doesn't have the silver bullet train ticket. So Manny's been noticing that a lot of his clients don't have the good travel package. Also, unfortunately for Manny, he's in the travel agents union, which is not that good, and they've locked him in the work shed. That was Salvador, because every game filled with conspiracy has to have an underground resistance. Salvador is going to be our friend here in a little bit, but he frees us. And now we're on the outside looking in, right? They know that we're on to something. We don't know what we're on to yet, but we're going to sneak into I believe he's our coworker. We're going to sneak into Domino's office here. That's the name of our coworker. And we are going to grab a trophy from his desk, you know, taking away his personal accomplishments. And then we're going to take, I don't recommend anyone do this, we're going to take his mouth guard. A little grody, but it's just the thing that we need to solve one of these upcoming puzzles.
Not as grody as you might think, considering that they probably don't have saliva, right? I would imagine not.
Well, listen, you know,
the laws of
it's just all so inconsistent.
The laws of what is included in the afterlife and isn't is vague. I think purposely so.
Mm-hmm. So after all these antics, we are going to go up to the roof. And you're thinking, well, why do they have to go up to the roof? Well, the resistance has to have a covert way of communicating. And what's more covert than a bunch of undead pigeons? So we're going to take the bread that we had earlier, we're going to get it all nice and dicey and crummy, and we're going to put our inflated balloon in this little bowl. So we have a nice little bowl we're going to feed the birds. Toppins to feed the birds. Some of the pigeons are going to get excited. They're going to think, oh no, we hit a balloon. Now they're all gone. And then you're thinking, well, have you ever tried to catch a pigeon? It's really hard. It's much easier to steal pigeon eggs and social engineer your own carrier pigeons. So we're going to make off with some of their eggs to raise up some pigeons.
Yep, over time, it'll pay off. It's a long-term investment.
It's one that eventually will pay off. I don't know the maturity age for, New York City pigeons, or wherever we are, I suppose. But, it's got to be some denomination of time. Yeah, so we're going to go back to the work shed, and we're going to fill the Domino's mouth guard with Philodent. Because Manny's been locked out of his computer, not really. You need to have some kind of denture, what is it called?
Some kind of
the teeth
DNA
check.
evidence, yeah.
Yeah.
Some proof that it's
they have some kind of mouth scan, so he's going to use his teeth to check the system. And this is the big boned, we'll call her, resistance lady. That's their slides on the carrier pigeons.
Mm-hmm. Never looked into that.
The dead pigeons is really... All right, so now obviously we're on the run, right? We're on the lam. We can't stay at the travel agency, right? That's just... Of course we can't. So Glottis, he's kind of out of commission right now, but he's going to help us. He's got this really cool rocket car. It's going to be good. This is a good time to mention that the run is broken up into 4 separate years, all taking place on November 2nd. So in those 4 years, we're going to be trying to track down Meche the entire time. So Meche got the bad travel package. We know it's an injustice. We're going to follow her because we're trying to rectify the fact that she got gypped on the 4-year walk, right? So we're trying to chase after her. In year 1, we are in the city, we're at the travel agency, and then we're in this kind of robot forest thing. I like the collapsible scythe thing. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, very handy.
Very handy. It's very foldy.
Oh, by the way, we should
believe-
mention the reason why Glottis is out of commission is because he got so stressed about being lost in the woods that he ripped his own heart out and threw it.
Oh.
Which is what we just retrieved. And you might have also noticed that the heart was a little bit strange looking. It had valves on it, and not heart valves, car valves, oil valves, things like that. And that is because, as we mentioned, Glottis is a demon. He is specifically a speed demon. That is what he is. That is what he is.
I really like
Which makes speedrun
the
perfect, obviously.
Of course. So this is the first RNG thing for every section kind of has one major RNG thing. And this section has this robot tree looking gizmo. So it's in the way. We have to go this way, right? This tree is blocking our way. So Glottis is going to try and be a bro. He's going to try and be our pal. And he's going to try and take the tree down. He's got ups. He can jump. He doesn't skip leg day. It's not going to work out great for him. And so we need this thing. Yeah, he's kind of doing the whirly bird. He's pizzaing when he should have french fried. So we're going to need to use this wheelbarrow to go over these little lines on the ground, and that's going to loosen these gears on the sides of the tree. So depending on if you get a good cycle or not, this can be pretty quick. This can be not that quick. You're trying to get the tree to get all wobbly so that it'll fall down.
There we go.
And there we go. Yeah. So
Not a really great one, unfortunately. But that's marathons for you.
hey, listen, it happens to the best of us.
Yep.
And the rest of us.
I did have one quick question.
You might have noticed, when we took off in the car originally, Glottis, being the speed demon that he is, kind of took off, crashed immediately into the sign, which loosened it up for us for this next little puzzle.
You had a question?
Yeah, I was just curious, considering this is like a point and click style game. How hard was it for you to actually learn like that particular style versus either like a keyboard mouse style or using a controller or anything like that?
Well, for this one specifically, so it is a point-and-click adventure game. There's actually a deceptive amount of speed tech that goes into this run. You might think like, oh, it's just about finishing the game from beginning to end as fast as possible. But this game is filled with these little like glitches, animation skips, and things like that. So it's less so about learning the routing and more so about learning when in the route are you able to do these animation skips, these glides, which we haven't talked about yet, but we'll talk about here shortly, and these little hammer through transition points, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it'll cause you, like I actually just tried to hammer through this transition and I got frozen there for a second. Sometimes it will just cause you to like soft lock for a moment until you regain control. So it's more so about you learning when to optimize using the keys, less so about learning the route, because you've played the game, you kind of realize what you're doing.
Right. So now we're at the part of the Forbidden Forest. All Forbidden Forests have, of course, flaming beavers. So to solve a puzzle earlier, we grabbed some bones. And we're gonna get these flaming beavers to jump into the river of tar so that they can keep working on their dam, and they're gonna go plunk. And then we're gonna throw the bone, the beaver's gonna get in position, and we're gonna hose down another one.
Yeah, it's fun to know. I actually just learned this in the last day or two. There's actually a tiny bit of RNG that comes with these fire beavers. Which is they can just choose to take a long time to get up to the rock where they jump, or they can do it a little bit faster. I think the most optimized versus the least optimized wastes like 3 seconds or so. But I never really realized that, because the split also has a point of RNG in it as well, so I just assume any time loss comes from that little, that tree farm that we were at before. But you can see right there, that beaver had a little bit of a hard time getting up the rock there. So that was a little bit slower than optimal.
How could this happen to me?
I know.
So, I don't know why they need those specific 3 bones. It seems like their dam is doing just fine. But, it's like the number one sin of capitalism. You want the bone you don't have.
That's true. They always wanted what they couldn't have.
So we're going to jump off the cliff really quick. This is Rudakaba. And it's like a little diner, a nice little quaint diner. You spend it like a year of your life walking, and you get to come here. You get to have like whatever, like a hot dog or something, a hot dog and a cup of coffee. This is Celso. He also got a bad travel package. He wasn't as good as Meche, but he didn't deserve to walk. One of the things in the game that you kind of learn is that some people get disillusioned by the 4-year-long walk, and they never actually make it. They just decide, oh, I'm never going to get there. I'm just going to take a job doing something, right? So now this poor guy is mopping the floor of the diner in Rudakaba, right? So we're going to go talk to the captain here. And, Conception, I'm forgetting what we get from the captain.
Yeah, so basically, so Celso, we kind of mentioned it before. Celso is the person that we took out of the body bag at the very beginning of the game. And right now, he's actually looking for his wife. He's stationed here trying to see if his wife is going to come through. The captain has actually told us the wife has come and left already. So what we are showing Celso here now is proof that his wife has not only come here, but has also left, which is why Celso takes off. He's going to go look for his wife, which leaves us in charge of the diner.
He tells us to take his job mopping the carpet.
Yep, and that is the end of year 1.
Yeah, so this is year 2. Rudakaba looking a lot different. Manny is a lot he's more industrious than Celso, right? Where Celso saw a carpet to be mopped, we saw an opportunity to be gained. So we have taken this ragtag, jackboot diner, and we've turned it into a little casino. It has its own code clerk, Glottis plays the piano, it's a whole thing.
So this is exactly what I was talking about there. So what I just did by accident is I fat fingered one of my inventory keys, and I was doing it right at a transition point, which when you do that, it sometimes prevents you from transitioning into the next scene. I was holding forward to go on, but the game was just preventing me from doing it. So that's kind of what it comes down to. Is just learning when these transition points are going to be important, and then not doing them with the proper amount of time, because if not, actually I just did it again for the second time in a row. The game will not let you transition unless you walk away and kind of reload the transition point. Wastes a lot of
Conception, I believe in you.
Yeah. It wastes time over the run to do that. But otherwise, it's over. I would say there's probably maybe 45 seconds of transitions over the run, so it's always worth doing. But if you mess up, it's still going to save you time over the course. That's not the end of the world.
This is one of my favorite set pieces in the game. Is this little slam poetry club? It looks like the Blue Casket.
Yep. If you play the game casually, you can actually do some performing and singing with Manny up on the stage. Obviously, it does not matter for us. It's just more for fun.
So we're kind of waiting here because we're we got ahead of Meche. Meche will come here, and then we'll group up with Meche, and then we'll go from there. So that's what we're waiting to do. Nice slide down the railing for points. Love that. All right, this less than reputable character, his name is Charlie. He deals in counterfeit. So he's going to make some maritime union cards for us for a price because, he's got skin in the game. He's got to have his taste. We have to go get his suitcase from a neighboring casino. And when we say neighboring, there's a much larger casino directly next to our littler casino. His suitcase is locked somewhere in this fortress of a casino. And he's like, hey, if you do this, then I'll get you your Maritime Union cards. It's a step up from the travel agent union. So we're going to go for it. He's going to give us a VIP card, which we can use to get into another place in the casino. I believe we talked to the ship captain at one point, and he's like, hey, good news. Meche was here. Bad news. She's already gone. So we have to do a few things in order to leave Rubacaba. We have to get union cards for Glottis and ourselves. Glottis can go on the ship, no problem, right? Because Glottis is a master mechanic, and he can fit on the ship. We do not have a spot on the ship. So, but Glottis can't work on the ship because Glottis doesn't have his tools. So we gotta get tools for Glottis. Then we have to get Maritime Union cards. Then we have to find a way to get ourselves on the ship, which we'll get to in a little bit. Also, Glottis has a problem. The first step is admitting it. Glottis is a bit of a lush. So Glottis heard that we had a VIP card, and he kind of took our card, and he ran away with it. So he's enjoying himself, we'll say, at this neighboring casino.
We will see him very shortly. We're heading there right now. Well, we have one pit stop to make, and then we're heading there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna go up to here. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole game. We're gonna make our way to the big casino, and we're gonna go all the way to the top to get the security checkpoint. We got a drink from our bar on the way here. That is the equivalent of Goldschlager, which we drank before we went through the metal detector, so that the metal detector would go off because we were full of gold, right? This security guard has a bit of a crush on us. She's very lovely. And because she has a crush on us, she's going to illegally detain us and question us without counsel. Which is fine, because we kind of want her metal detector.
Mm-hmm.
See how she kind of poised us with it? Funny thing about women, they know when you're only with them for their stuff. So she's not about this. She's like, you want this metal detector? So you can go get it. Throws it out the window. Unfortunate. Other feature about this great casino, you might see that there's a bit of a motif. There's cats. There's cats in the stonework. There's cats on the stairs. There's cats everywhere, right? Lots of cats. And that's because this casino also has a track. You might be thinking, oh, like horses or dogs. No, it's giant cats. And giant cats need giant cans of tuna. And they need a giant litter box. And lucky us, the metal detector is in the giant litter box.
Especially lucky us, we have a very long scythe that we can use to fish it out without touching it.
Hey, listen, the Cat Box Cleaners Union, that's a bad union. You don't want to end up in that union.
That's right.
My goodness.
All right. And then,
there's Glottis.
Yep, the Glottis
We
up
found
there
him.
enjoying himself. Watching the cat
Glottis
races.
is having a good old time, All right, this guy is Nick.
Yeah.
Nick is sort of a mob lawyer. He's not a criminal lawyer, he's a criminal lawyer, right? You see that Nick has this key. This is actually one of the few cutscenes in the game you can't skip. By disabling the voice lines, as soon as the text appears on screen and it clears, it kind of goes much faster. Otherwise, we'd have to listen to all the voice lines, which is great, but not very fast. So you see that his cigarette case has a key hidden in it. We need that key. So after this lengthy cutscene, he's regaling us with tales of his litigation history. I mean, he's a great lawyer, right? His clients are not doing any hard time. He's also kind of a jerk. He's not a great person. He probably got the 4 years on foot, and yeah, he's all good, man.
Yeah. And it's exactly like you were talking about before. Some people are content in not crossing over. So instead of taking that 4-year journey, even if they were bad in life, they don't have to do that. They can just stay in this land of the dead area, and just kind of do whatever they want, be a mob lawyer.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you from really making the afterlife your own. He died as he lived, as some might say. Do you see this big green guy? He's rolling away the empty casks. So Glottis is upstairs. He's having himself a good time. You're here for a good time, not a long time. Or in Glottis's case, maybe a long time and a good time. So we're gonna open this closet here, this pantry-esque area. And when Glottis's waiter comes back, Glottis's waiter is exacerbated. The waiters union, as we're gonna find out, is way low on the tier list, because we're gonna lock the waiter in this pantry, and then we're gonna board it up with the scythe. Poor guy already had a rough night. He's not getting tipped well by Glottis. Glottis is kind of putting this on the cuff, he's running a tab. And Glottis is actually going to get really frustrated that the waiter's not coming back, and he's going to be like, I'm going to drink myself another cask. I'm going to go get it myself. So we just skipped the whole cutscene there, but Glottis comes, he drinks a whole cask. We cut the top off the cask, hide in it. The guy comes back, he rolls us away, and now we're deeper into the casino. And now we have a forklift.
Forklift is very important. And this is one of the weirdest parts of the run in terms of consistency. It's mostly consistent what we have to do here, but for some reason, sometimes I will just get blocked, and I'll let CJ kind of explain what I'm doing here, but
Yes, so Conception needs to focus. So what we're trying to do is we have to line the forklift up, and we're trying to get it so that we get stuck between floors. There's like a secret passage between floors. You can only get the forklift stuck while you're going up, not when you're going down. So if we missed this just now, we would have to go all the way back up and then go down and then go back up again. But he got it there, which was good. And this is the secret passage where they keep all of their high-valued contraband. Notice there's nothing else in this room. And so we're like, hey, what's in there? It's a bunch of first-class silver bullet train tickets. Wowie zowie. And we're like, oh, this solves our problem. Except, no, Charlie's got a gun. So Charlie double-crossed us. If you're wondering how a skeleton is going to get shot to death, it actually comes up a lot in the rest of the game, but that is a fertilizer gun. So we're literally going to take a dirt nap if we get shot with one of those bad boys. It's going to turn us into floral arrangements, we'll say. I think in the previous run I commentated with you, I called them bushes.
Yep.
And that was not an apt description of what happens. So Charlie's going to make off with his suitcase, but you know what? There is some honor among thieves. He gives us the Maritime Union cards. Now we're going to go back to our lovely, just terrific security guard friend. And we're going to be like, hey, can you blow up this cigarette case?
Yeah, this part, I never understood this. I never understood this. So I think the premise is that, you know, if there was worry that there was a bomb, you would put that in there so it could explode safely. However, the cigarette case is not a bomb. We just want it exploded. So she basically put it in some kind of bomb chamber. So she has a chamber underground here that just explodes for some reason. I don't know what security, what security would need with that beyond it, specifically this.
I kind of thought that was a Roomba. I know that's like different time and stuff like that, but
hey, maybe the Land of the Dead were they were a little bit ahead of times. Who knows?
What it lacks in suction, it makes up in blowing stuff up. So you know, it's like a Roomba in that it has none of the qualities of a Roomba. But I wish it were a Roomba. That would be a much better narrative element, in my opinion. We have this turkey baster that we made off with. We're going to get some conspicuous brown liquid from the sink there. We're going to hold on to that, tuck that in our back pocket. And now we're going to talk to the worker bees. If you felt like if any of the unions were... Oh, no, we're not talking to the worker bees. We're going to the lighthouse.
Yeah, after the lighthouse.
We're going to the lighthouse. Right? The lighthouse is important.
You won't really get to see why, but it is.
No, it was... What we did in there was so important, we just couldn't show you. We didn't have time. Now we're going to talk to the worker bees. Listen, worker bees, you have been oppressed for too long. It's time that the man knew what he had coming to him. It's time for y'all to go on strike. And the idea is, if they're striking, then they won't need their tools anymore. Which, as we've established, this game, lots of conspiracy, lots of cover-up. You know, they don't do everything by the rules. And instead, they get locked up in the hooskow.
Mm-hmm. Jailed for
the Old Bailey, rights, as it were. You know? As someone corrected me, the official term is that you get sprouted when you get shot with these guns. That is the technical term. So you get sprouted when you get shot by fertilizer. But I think the picture is better painted by saying dirt nap. We, unfortunately, our friend here is this is the one that's been shot. She's been sprouted.
No. So that cutscene at the lighthouse was when somebody would have been sprouted, and her name. Oh, what's her name? Starts with an L.
It's so important we forgot.
Yeah. So basically, what she was to the story was that she was a lover of Nick's.
Lola.
Lola. Thank you. That's what it is. She was a lover of Nick's in the past. And she was Nick has taken another lover named Olivia, who is the casino head's girlfriend, basically. And what Lola's job was to be a photographer here at the Blue Casket. So she took a picture of Nick and Olivia smooching, and she wanted to show that to Max so that Max and Nick would, their relationship would be fraught with strife. Who knows what would have happened there. However,
absolutely fraught.
Yeah. However, Lola was killed before she was able to do that. But on her deathbed, she was able to give Manny a coat check tag, which we then took to our coat check person. She gave us a coat that had a note in it, and the note was actually a tattoo card, like a design of a tattoo. And now what we're doing is we're going into the tattoo shop to see what that's all about.
Steve wanted me to remind you to not mess up the tattoo.
Yeah, I tend to do this part out of order by accident, but I did it in order already. We're good.
I believe in you.
We're already good.
So this big surly guy, he's like, I'm getting a tattoo, and I'm so tough. Oh no, I'm scared. And so he's like, give me that beer. I'm gonna drink the beer, and then we're gonna squirt some awful brown sink water in there. He's gonna be like, I need another one, and all right, no, I'm passed out now.
Poisoned.
Listen, I don't know what they put in that sink, but I don't think it was enough to poison the guy. I think the man can't handle his liquor or his sink water, one or the other,
or both.
So he's asleep. He's out for the count for now. And the tattoo guy calls the sea captain and is like, all right, listen, your boy's here. He's unconscious. Don't worry, I'll make sure he shows up to work. So our plan was, we'll knock him out. We'll take his spot on the boat, because that's the last piece of the puzzle we're trying to solve, right? We got our union cards. Oh no, we haven't gotten the tools yet, but we're solving for things, right?
Yep.
We're getting things in motion. That's the story of this game, is being in motion. And then this hub 2 takes the longest out of the 4 years. Year 2, I guess, is the more appropriate way to say it.
Yeah.
Manny's head's gone.
Yep. Weird visual glitch. No other reason.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that solved that. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. That happens a few times in the runs. For some reason, sometimes people's heads will just disappear.
That's no way to get ahead in life.
If you don't pay attention in this crazy world, bygone it, you might just lose your head.
All right, so what we did just there, so I used a betting machine. We actually got it from Charlie all the way at the beginning of year 2 in order to print a betting slip. So by nature, the game wants you to figure out some lore here, to figure out what exact betting slip to put in here. Luckily for us, it's the same every time. So I don't have to go through all the lore, investigate, figure out what the code is supposed to be. I know the code. I just punch the code in and get the slip.
Right. There was another section like that in the first year, which we forgot to talk about, but there's one of those things, I think, in almost every year. Like, it's meant to be this long tangent where you go off, do something, learn, come back, but it's always the same. Also, the thing that we got there, so we had the fake betting slip, and what we got back was a scandalous photo of Nick
And Olivia.
with the casino manager's daughter, or girlfriend.
Yeah.
So we are going to blackmail the criminal lawyer into representing our worker bee friends. Now they're going to be like, this is an unjust and unfair world. We're out of here. Peace. And now we have their tools that we can give to Glottis. So we've got our union cards. We're also going to punch Nick.
All right, he deserves it.
Don't have to worry about bruising.
Just broken bones.
Concussions. Hey, listen, just broken bones. That's right. He's gonna sulk off, And this section in particular has a lot of walking. This one has a lot more walking. This is the morgue. This is the mortician. You can see 2 people have been sprouted. I guess in lieu of flowers, send money to the families of the deceased.
Yep.
I'm proud of that one.
In lieu of flowers,
can't take
send
that one
money
away
to
from
the
me.
flowers.
And yeah, so we're gonna give the mortician the metal detector, and we're gonna be like, hey, scan these corpses for us, and then we're gonna covertly put the dog tag on the body of the deceased.
Because you say covertly. The idea is that you do it while his back is turned, but you can do it on the same frames that he's turning around. So he clearly just saw us throw dog tags onto a body, but he didn't really. So it's fine.
Yeah, in fact, none of us have eyes. So, he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. He doesn't have eyes in the front of his head.
You didn't see anything.
Now the mortician.
Eyes.
They say eyes are the window to the soul. He sees you with his soul. So the mortician's gonna call the sea captain and be like, hey, your boy, he's not unconscious. He's all kinds of dead. And I don't think he's gonna show up to work tomorrow. And that leaves the opening for us to join the crew. And now there's just one last thing that we have to take care of, because while all of this has been going on, it turns out someone's been ripping us off. Someone has been trying to, thinking that we're not aware that they're cheating us at the roulette table. And we just can't abide by that. So what they're doing is this guy has a magnet. This is the big RNG section for this. Oh, did you get it?
Yeah, pretty fast. Not as fast. Like, it was probably like a second or two slower than the fastest I could have gotten it.
All right, so we won't explain what just happened, but that was really fast.
Yeah.
Now we're on the boat. We've been raided. We've been boarded. And all of our crewmates got sprouted, and it's just us and Glottis. They have confined us to the engine compartment of the ship, which has the benefit of being able to move the ship, but also has the added benefit of being able to wrangle the anchors. And what we're trying to do is trying to get these anchors, he did it, tangled up. Then we're going to lean the ship. We're going to try and get the ship leaning in a way. We're going to get the scythe. We're going to hook the anchors and get it to the window, the port, as it were, on a boat. I know my boat
I think that's
terms.
the term, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I'm a Navy kid.
There you go.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. So, so how will we get free? We're gonna rip the ship in half. We're gonna use the anchors. We're gonna pull them, and we're gonna cut the ship in half. But because we still have the engine half, we can leave? Question mark?
Yeah, something like that.
We get about as far as you might think. We do get a little far with half a ship, but it gets us mainly to the bottom of the ocean. It's just us and Glottis, the homie. And, it's really dark, but luckily, this dude with a lantern just shows up. He shows us there's a bunch of spooky monsters, And, so... I like that he sings this little light of mine.
Oh, it's so good when... So what can happen here, which you won't see because we can set it up very consistently. So if for whatever reason you misclicked or you do not click on him to get the lantern before he starts going around, he then goes around the back of the ship, walks around for like 45 seconds, all the way around the scene, basically. Sings the song the whole time. So you get a nice little rendition of the song. Oh.
He was hoisted by his own petard, and we hoisted him by his antenna for his lantern to navigate us to this area.
Very good.
This octopus is in on the conspiracy. He has dragged another ship down. Think of it like the Kraken, but it's some kind of... Yeah, he's an octopus, I think. So yeah, he's dragged this ship down. It doesn't help us get any closer to the ship, but, we got the lantern guy. The octopus wishes he had a little light like that.
Yeah.
Man, he's really into that lantern. All right, so dry land.
The edge of the world.
Edge of the world. It's a Johnny Depp plot. So this is like, how do I say this? This is like a prison camp. I like that now we're swimming, right? Before we were walking and now we have to...
Yeah, I guess we can turn it on and off. I don't know.
Gravity. What's that? Who sings that song? Never mind.
John Mayer?
Yes.
I was going to say there's also the Defying Gravity from Wicked.
Oh, yeah, very good.
Yes.
Very good. Both are excellent.
Ooh, I like this. I like this conversation we're having. All right, so we're gonna talk to these poor children who are in a cage, and they're gonna give us a little pick. Yes, they're gonna give us this tiny little pick, and some birds are not meant to be caged, but unfortunately, we're not gonna do anything to help either of them right now.
Oop, come on.
Sorry, kids.
That
I
pick
believe
is so
in you.
small, it's hard to hit.
Yeah. So that'll be important for later. It's a prison camp, so we have to do lots of trading. You've heard about trading cigarettes or stamps in prison. Well, we need whatever we can get our hands on. So we have this little pick, and then there's Meche. And so what we need is her stocking. And the way that we're gonna do that is by getting her to put her ashes on her own leg. This is the saucy cutscene that some people look forward to.
Important to note as well, this is the RNG point of year 3, and I got the fastest cycle that you could get there.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, we like that.
Hey, listen, I only mention the RNG when you don't do well. Otherwise, it's just you acing it,
Yeah, so first RNG sequence didn't go great, but second and third went really well, so that's pretty good. And those are the two that really can cost you the most amount of time.
Wait, he wasn't swimming there.
So we're gonna go to our friend the Lantern, who's already provided us with so much. He has this drill, and he's gonna trade us his pick. So we're gonna trade the little tiny pick that the little angels were using for his big drill. Then we're gonna give him her stocking in exchange for
A gun.
a gun
Yes.
with no bullets.
No
So
bullets.
we have a gun with no ammo.
Yeah.
And a drill, which to me makes me think that the Lantern guy is a bit of a pervert.
So in the story, it's very clear that he doesn't care who they were from. It's about the quality of the stockings themselves. We skip all the dialogue there, so you don't get to see. I was going to touch on that actually because you might think he's a little suspect, but it's about wanting to stay warm, not because he cares that they belong to Meche or anything weird like that.
He needs to put the stocking on his antenna.
Yeah.
So let me give you a quick story update. We were caught. They put Meche in this locked room, which we just drilled through. And it turns out it's Domino. It's our old co-worker, man. What? That's crazy. So Domino is he's in on the conspiracy. So we're gonna have to deal with him at some point. But first we're gonna get our friend Meche out of lockup. And what he had to do there was he had to turn all the gears so that they faced a different way. Now we're going to use our scythe like a lockpick and open this big door. And then we get in there, and we're going to fold up our scythe first because we're gentlemanly like that. Can't greet a lady with a giant metal blade. And oh, she's not in here. Okay. Now we're going to lock ourselves in here because that's the smart play. And oh, we accidentally... There's a secret door. Of course there's a secret door, right? What would a hidden compartment in an enemy prison camp be without a secret door? There's this axe, which you think, might be helpful. And it is, because we're going to use it. There's a little spot on the floor.
I don't know if I lined it up well. Okay, yep. All right, I was concerned that I jumped the gun too early on slamming it down. But I got just
I believed in you. I was doing it for you, man. I was carrying that water for you. So, we drop this giant axe, and we reveal that there's a little hole in the bottom of this trapped, little weird area. I don't know what they do in here. Dentistry, probably. And now we can get out to this little hole in the floor. Right, there we are. Now Meche's like, I'm going to hang out on the beach. You go get me a boat. Awesome. Let's go round us up a boat. Also, something you didn't see. Glottis got thrown off the cliff. So, rest in peace, Glottis. You were a good friend. You were a bit of a lush, but we used it to progress the story, so it was okay. There's no real afterlife for you. Like, this is as far as you go. You don't get to go to the next stage with us. So, thank you for your journey. Oh, and he's also not dead. He landed on a boat. So, convenient for us. They have this giant crane that we are going to use to bring Glottis some metal, right? So he can patch the hole and get us out of here, right? Awesome. Glottis, master mechanic, incredibly useful. He's a real utilitarian, really. I can see why he was included in the narrative, because he's invaluable to the plot. And, you know, his companionship is something. So we're going to use this giant crane. We're going to break that. And do that. And then we have this chain. And so we have this thing. We have the chain. Conception can only walk here. Manny can only walk here.
It's the
a little frustrating.
That's why, yeah.
You know, I didn't check my Riptide chart today, so I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, so
we're going to lower this chain down.
Yeah, there you go.
And then we're going to back it up. And if you've ever done that with chain, it kind of gets all like kinky, like kink in the chain, not like the other kind. And then we're going to push it forward. It's going to wrap around the anchor. And the anchor is attached to the boat. So we've now wrapped a big chain attached to a crane. So we can wrap it around an anchor that's attached to the boat. Right?
Correct.
And now we're going to pull, and now we have a boat. Just like that. Now we're going to face off with Domino. I'm sure this will be a really climactic fight. Okay, it's over. And it's year 4.
That was actually a very climactic fight. I was worried about that for, half a second there.
You know, it's so the speedrun, you don't get the real flavor of Domino. Domino is a jerk, and he got what he had coming to him, but we'll never know. Now we're in year 4, and year 4, we get there and we're like, there's widespread corruption in the bureaucracy. We say to the bureaucrats, and they say, we believe you. But we're bureaucrats. We just can't let anyone come through without a ticket. So, unfortunately, they don't let us through. So we're stuck here at the gate, almost at like the gondola to the gate, right? Glottis is unconscious. But if you'll remember, we filled up a balloon with packing material. And we still have it. We're gonna soak that little bad boy in gasoline and stick it in a toaster.
Yeah, so more specifically, what happens there is the packing material in year 1 that we use to jam up the mail machine. What that packing material is used for is to fill it with coffins. Like, you put it inside coffins so that you can ship these bodies to where they need to go. So it's like a transport system for them. They're still alive in there, they're not like dead or anything. They're still alive, but it's a way for them to transport themselves. That packing material is particularly flammable, and what we did at the very beginning of year 4, it was we found a coffee mug that was filled with that packing material in a coffin, and we found out that it's explosive, and we used it as rocket fuel.
For our rocket, so we could get back to the hub area, Rubacaba. Nice thing about this, when you go back, is it's a lot more linear. There's not all that walking around. It's kind of, it's as described. We're going to go to the tattoo parlor here to get a very important item. We need some liquid nitrogen. So, there we go.
It's just a long animation process.
He's got to take it covertly, Conception.
Yeah.
You just can't quickly take liquid nitrogen. The audience has to know what you're doing. There's intent behind it. Every frame of painting made exactly how we want to make it. Come on. So we need we need the liquid nitrogen because we are kind of stuck, right? It's not going well. And our rocket car that got us to Rubacaba has been booby-trapped by dominoes. Not the domino that we killed on the submarine. Dominoes, like the playing tiles. And that if we trip one of those dominoes, everything's going to explode. So we have to circumvent the trap. And we are going to unfortunately, we're going to abuse Glottis' alcoholism by getting a ship in a bottle. And then we're going to bring that to him in conjunction with our liquid nitrogen to solve the puzzle. Now, the first time I saw this, I was like, okay, this is a stretch. There's no real reason this should be a solution to this puzzle, but it is. And so, right? We're abusing his problem,
Yep.
which is not very friendly of us. We're bad friends. He's gonna drink that whole thing down, ship and everything.
Didn't even consider the ship.
And that's gonna engage the little dangly thing that swings in the back of his throat, and yeah, unfortunately, he's gonna be sick. Demon vomit has a very it's very viscous, and it's very consistent, and it spreads evenly like gravy on the back of a spoon. The reason I'm giving you such a clear description is because it coated the floor
Perfectly.
and didn't knock any of the dominoes over. Now we're gonna engage our liquid nitrogen, and that lets us walk on the ice and disengage the bomb. Or no, maybe we activate the bomb, but we're out of there.
Engage the rocket car.
Engage the rocket car.
Yep.
Engage, disengage. What's the difference?
Disengage the bomb, engage the rocket car. There's a lot going on.
I love, Oh, there's our pigeon. It's been 4 years. Our pigeons have been raised to young beaklings. I don't know what a mature pigeon would be called. But back at the Resistance.
I think it's just called a pigeon.
I'm trying to, a pigeon is a pigeon,
Yeah.
I don't want to minimize his accomplishments. Also, apparently, Glottis installed hydraulics.
Yep.
He's gonna listen to Lowrider by War on the way to our next area.
I love that song. All my friends love the Lowrider.
Shout out to the George Lopez show.
I was going to bring that up.
Been canceled for 10 years, but it's still on TV land if you get that channel.
The temptation to sing that song is real, but DMCA is also real.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, everyone knows that song. They can sing it for themselves in their heart. All right, so we're in year 4 now, and we said this earlier, but a lot happened then. So we're in year 4. This is the agency that we started the game at. Looks different, right? It's a casino now. We're gonna pour a hot coffee on these poor dancers. The Dancers Union also not great. We're pouring hot coffee on them. It's gonna ruin their makeup, their outfits, and their days. And they're gonna scurry off. They're upset. But we need a disguise. Obviously, we worked here for some measure of time. People are gonna recognize us. So, first thing that any person needs when they're doing a good disguise is face paint and makeup. So, we also have a hand and a can, which will be useful for later. But now we need some new threads. Because Manny, he's very fond of this jacket. In fact, it's really the only real consistent outfit he owns. I mean, he has like a revolutionary jumpsuit and like a smoker's jacket and some other things, but this is kind of his main ensemble. So he needs a new outfit for the casino so he doesn't get spotted.
And so he blends in. The casino is a very fancy place. You can't just show up in a puffy jacket,
It's very gaudy. Gauche, as my college professor might say. I doubt he's watching, but shout out to Dr. Shapiro.
He might be.
You never know.
He was a big Grand Fandango fan.
All right, so, the old neighborhood, the neighborhood's just, what happened to the neighborhood, right? It's gone to heck. This is a gator in our sewers. And Glottis activates the hydraulics, right? Great, now the gator can't get him, but it's still, I think the gator could get him if he had a mind to. But we're gonna get this gator to turn around. I promise it isn't alligator. Don't let its low polygonal resolution fool you. It's a stylized. And then we're gonna disengage the hydraulics, and we caught a lizard by the tail. I love the sound that the gator makes.
Yeah, it's like a T-Rex.
They sound so happy.
This is the florist, and in the context of Grim Fandango, the florist is basically everyone's black market arms dealer. He's he's under the table. He thinks we're coming to get him. If you take the cover off this bell when you come back in, he just thinks like you're a regular customer. And then he rolls out the red carpet. Here's some guns and some ammo, boy. All right. You can mow down your enemies. Heyo.
There's that head glitch
our
again.
head's gone.
Yep.
If you're not careful with these guns, you just might lose your head.
All right. So now, we got our face painted. We got our weapon. We should also mention the reason why we're all the way back here is to take down the leader of this mob, this underground conspiracy to take people's afterlife tickets away. And his name is Hector Lamans, who has taken over this travel agency since we were last here 4 years ago. So that is why we would want the gun in order to be able to confront him. Oops. That's okay. Actually, doesn't waste any time. We have to wait for her to reset her position anyway. You have to talk to. That's actually Meche in disguise as well, and this is Charlie.
Yeah.
From all the way back in year 2.
There's a lot going on in this scene. We have Charlie, who's, he's getting wrapped up by a sheet. You'll notice this man over here, he has no legs. He has a unicycle, which he pedals with his arm. It is like the 2 kids in an overcoat meme brought to life. This young man's special talent is not just that he can ride a unicycle with one arm. It's that he can rig the slot machine to pay out the big score, which is important because Charlie's not going to leave this casino until he hits it big. We need him to leave so he can go to the toga party, which is actually what this is. This is his toga costume. He sees that he won big time, the big money. He's going to load his pockets, and then he's going to go get changed for the toga party. And as you do when you are getting changed in a public place, you go into the bathroom, you strip down, to your unmentionables and below that, and then you leave your clothes on the floor of the bathroom.
What I would
right
do.
for the
That's what I
taking.
do.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Hey now. And now we have a fancy new suit. And luckily, even though Charlie's only 3 feet tall, he's just our size.
All right, we're flying off the cuff here. Okay, I'm gonna take a guess.
So we have, this is a RNG section of the run. This guy is like, hey, if you know Hector Lamans, why don't you tell me something about him that only someone that knows him would know? And so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to match a number on the bingo board, and then he'll ask you a question, and then a number is either going to be there or not be there. The first time that you do it, there's like a dozen numbers there. The second time you do it, there's like 1 or 2. So, really easy to do it the second time. But he did miss it the first time.
Not only did I miss it the first time, I accidentally mashed too fast, so I didn't even get a chance to look at the board, which is what happened. I accidentally overmatched my text. I went past the board, so I didn't even see the numbers to begin with. So I just took a wild guess, and I was wrong.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
I believe in you, Conception. We're gonna finish strong here.
Yeah. So the best possible RNG on those bingo boards, by the way, is if we got the answer was 1 through 4. Because in addition to trying to figure out what the number is, if it was say 30 or something, you have to scroll to 30 as well, which takes a while.
Now we're on the roof. We're in our cloak because this is a spec ops mission. We got to be low key, and we're going to use this grinder to grind up the hand that we had in a can, and then. Are you pouring the fertilizer on it?
Yeah, so it's the same ammo we would use in the gun, but it's just the ammo. And when, as it would when we're being sprouted, the fertilizer with bone combination has a unique reaction. So basically, we just sprouted the sign, for lack of a better.
Now we're at the last area of the game. This is the greenhouse. So Hector Lamans is holed up here in this greenhouse. As you can imagine, a greenhouse is the equivalent of like an armory. He's got fertilizer for days. So we're gonna go up here and You know, we're gonna call him out to a showdown at the OK Corral, and we're gonna get sprouted. You know, the end is near. So we're not gonna go quietly into that long goodnight though, because we still have some liquid nitrogen. So we shoot ourselves in the chest, pull the flower out before it spreads too far. And now we're gonna make our way back to the car. The only thing that really kind of stinks about this section is you got to walk all the way up to the greenhouse and you have to walk all the way back to the car. That's Salvador. Salvador is just ahead now. He got sprouted. And they buried his body. And they buried it behind the greenhouse. I believe that it's in the same spot every time. What you're meant to do is this ticket is mortally bound to him. That's his ticket. So what you're supposed to do is follow the ticket up the hill to where the body is, right? Mm-hmm. But because it's in the same spot every time, we're just going to go right to where we know that it is, and we're going to dig him up.
There is a weird bug that happens sometimes that if you go directly to the spot, the ticket won't leave your hand. Luckily, we didn't get it. But sometimes you have to like re-enter and come back in a few times before it will navigate to where the body is. But we didn't have that, thankfully, this time. Weird animation glitch here as well.
We have his body, and we needed his body, because we
he has the key.
We
to
need
the
the
trunk.
key.
Yeah.
Yes, we need the key to the trunk.
A lot of up and down. So we went up there, we came back down. We went up, came back down. We're gonna go back up again. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, one more for the Gipper.
But a time is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, so what's in the trunk is actually a gun and some ammo. So, you know, you're thinking, oh, we're going to go back up there, we're going to show Hector what for. We totally could do that, but remember, we've already lost to Hector in a shootout. You know, he's up there, he's in, it's his home court advantage. He's got ammo for days. So we are thinking smart, not hard. We're going to shoot fertilizer at this tank, which leads into the greenhouse. That's going to put some fertilizer fumes
Time is
in
coming
there.
up very shortly on my last input here, so get ready.
And this is what happens when you fill a greenhouse full of fertilizer fumes.
There it is. Yeah, so time ended on that last input there, so we got a little bit of a cutscene action. But just so you could see what happens to Hector there, filled with greenhouse fumes, it ends up just straight up exploding, sprouting into non-existence, basically. But yeah, that is Grim Fandango. That was on my end at least a 106.14, which is only less than 30 seconds away from my PB. So that's pretty good, all things considered. We even had some gold splits in there, so
Nice.
pretty happy with that. Yeah, not too bad, not too shabby at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just do a couple quick shout outs. I know this has been an excellent bargain bin showcase with all three of these games. Has been really great. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank GDQ for having me on, and Vesper as well for thanking me in the show here. This is an excellent game, as you know, to go along with the mission of what the bargain bin is: speedrunning games that are affordable and easy to access. This game is on, as I mentioned, pretty much every console. It's now on Xbox, just came on Xbox in October. It is on the Switch, it's on PlayStation, and it is on PC, so you can access it freely. It should never be more than roughly $15, and it's on sale often, so you can always jump in and speedrun this game. Very accessible if you're interested in it. We actually don't have like a Discord server yet. It's a somewhat, there's enough leaderboards runs on there, but we're going to get a server up and running soon with some resources. So if you're interested in running the game for now, feel free to just reach out to me. I'll be happy to give you a hand. And yeah, so thank you for GQ. Thank you for commentating for me, CJ, as well. The banter is always lovely. If you have anything you'd like to shout out.
No, I mean, I think you should watch Conception. He does a lot of really cool streams. He does a lot of cool games like Grim Fandango, and I don't think you'll regret it. I think it's a really fun and relaxed time.
So, like you said earlier, if people wanted to reach out and say, like, oh, reach out to you, where would be the best place? Like your Twitch, for example.
Yeah, so Twitch, I'm twitch.tv/conception2, pretty simple there. If you'd like, you can also reach out to me on Twitter, which my tag is conception_2 there. You can reach out there, and then you can always just visit the speedrun.com page of this, which I believe it's speedrun.com/ I believe it's GF Remastered, but if you just search Grim Fandango Remastered, you'll find it on there. And there is, within the runs themselves and the notes of the leaderboard runs, some very useful notes in order for you to get started on running the game as well. But until we get that server up and running, I'm happy to answer questions or, give you tips on how to progress in the speedrun.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. It's been, I love the aesthetic, and I always love anything that's from LucasArts. But that will do it for the bargain bin. We do have a couple of quick announcements, but we're not done with the entire stream, just so you all know. If you missed any runs from Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 online, or if you want to watch any of the previous Hotfix shows, you can go to youtube.com/gamesdonequick and check out an archive of all the live shows we have there. Don't forget, tomorrow is the first step with J Hubs and Kizaron starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, always a good. And like I said, we're not done here. Coming up right here in a little bit is actually going to be speedruns from the Crypt, showcasing all things spoopy. So if you like the spoopy aesthetic that was Grim Fandango,
yeah, what a great transition.
We're going to have more spoopy things coming up here in just a second. And with that, we are going to take a small break. We can play some ads, let you all kind of get up, stretch around for a little bit, get some liquids, some hydration, everything along those lines. And we're going to continue on with the spoopy trend with speedruns from the Crypt. We'll be right back. Thank you all for watching.